Hello everyone, I'm Serious Trivia, and welcome back to another Commandery guide video. Today we'll be taking a look into ChangSha, the starting commandery for Sun Jian. Because Sun Jian is the only faction that will ever get a chance to build ChangSha from the grounds up, most of this guide will be seen through the eyes of a Sun Jian campaign. So let's get started. If we take a look at the map here, we can see that ChangSha is located in the central southern region of China, right below the Yangtze River. Aside from the capital county, it also has a trade port, an armorer, and a tea county. So in terms of size and max population, it is as big as it can get in the game, with 3 specialty counties. As always, we'll first take a look at each of the counties and determine our optimal build for the commandery based on our assessment. The trade port is exactly the same from when we first touched on it in our Taishan commandery guide. At the start of the game, the trade port is level 1 and in the hands of the Han. It provides a flat commerce income from level 1 to level 4, and level 5, the trade port branches out to 3 options. Option A offers 200 commerce income. Option B offers 180 commerce income, but also adds 100 extra industry income. Option C offers 220 commerce income and a 50% multiplier for spice income. Before you acquire spice in the game, you cannot even build option C. So of option A and B, I recommend utilizing option B with its combination of both industry and commerce income. After you acquire spice, however, it is better to go with option C. Next, we have an armorer building, which started the game at level 1 and also in the hands of the Han. This is a rare county, as there are only 2 such counties on the entire map. It can be upgraded twice to a max level of 3. This county will periodically and randomly produce armor for your faction. Upgrading the building increases the chance for better quality armor at the cost of an increased upkeep. It is hard to value this county with pure math, as you have to consider the joy of getting a unique armor, the amount of battle stat it adds for your generals, and the diplomatic value of rare and exceptional pieces. Monetarily speaking, the upkeep is quite high, but it does offer a 10% discount to market and learning buildings. I'm a sucker for collecting things, so this county is priceless to me. Lastly, we have the tea county, which provides an important resource for any commerce-dominant strategy. It starts the game also level 1 and also in the hands of the Han Empire. Tea allows you to build the better tea house branch of the in-building tree rather than the standard guest house branch. It also provides additional commerce income by itself. The tea building chain splits at level 4 with one option for higher commerce income and another option for a slightly lower commerce income with additional percentage boost to trade influence. If you're able to secure a few stable trade routes, then it might be better to go with a less income route. But in most of my attempt at Sun Jian, trade routes are difficult to come by, as you start the game surrounded by enemies or potential enemies or just the Han Empire. Now that we looked over the counties, it is safe to say that ChangSha is a commerce-focused commandery, with 2 of its 3 counties focused entirely on commerce, and the third provides additional discounts to learning and market buildings which are commerce-focused. With just the average fertility and high adjacency, it is better to supplement the commandery with industry income rather than peasantry income as our second source of income. So let's start looking at how to build. At the start of the game, ChangSha is a level 2 town with a level 2 mail post from the in-building chain already built. The second building slot is empty, and the first big decision to make on turn 1 of the game is what to build there. For those of you familiar with my guides or have seen my high-level concept guides, you know I am a big fan of building the tax collection, and make no mistake, I recommend you to do the same here and build it on turn 1 for free. Most of you might think, didn't we just decide to not build peasantry and focus on commerce income supplemented by industry income? Yes, we did. and that's why we need to build the tax collection building first. If you don't agree or are confused, it's okay. Let's first take a look at our goal. The first goal of ChangSha is to upgrade it to a level 4 small city and have the following 3 buildings built: an inn, a state workshop, and a private workshop. At first glance, you might think this is an industry commandery, but it's actually the best 3 building combination for both commerce and industry commanderies. Let's name it right here as the holy trinity of economy. The inn provides both commerce income and commerce multiplier. The private workshop provides the same level of commerce multiplier as the marketplace, but at a lower cost, lower upkeep, additional industry multiplier, and a learning and market building discount. It is better than the marketplace in every single aspect and should always be built instead of the marketplace. The state workshop provides high industry income to supplement our commerce income and make sure the little bit of industry multiplier on the private workshop chain does not go wasted. It also provides a 10% discount to learning and market buildings. But if this is our goal from the beginning, where does the tax collection building come into play? My recommended build path for you is to build the tax building, upgrade the settlement to a small city, utilize the 10% discount to economic buildings to build the state workshop on the 3rd slot, and then demolish the tax building right away to build the private workshop next. And this reaches our goal. It seems like we're taking the long route, since alternatively we can just build the state workshop right away. But I'm here to prove you wrong with math, and that the tax collection building is better. Here is a cash flow chart for ChangSha in the early game. The 2 options are both represented. The inflows represent the marginal income or income that results from your decision. Therefore, income from the mail post that's included does not come into play here because that amount is the same for you with both paths. So we don't need to include that for the comparison. The outflow represent building costs. For example here, on turn 1, you would build the tax collector building for 0. And on turn 2, for the state workshop route, you would build the state workshop for a cost of 1,125. You can also build the state workshop at turn 1, but it would be for 1,250, and the construction will last 2 turns since the assignment hasn't come online yet. So you're better off in that case to just wait a turn for the Sentinel supervised construction assignment to come online before building the state workshop. The yellow highlights here are turns when you should upgrade the town to a large town and from a large town to a small city. I did not record the cost as outflow for these upgrades because once again, they will be the same for both paths, therefore insignificant for our comparison here. It is best to upgrade our settlement on turn 3 and 5 because you'll have the early game mission reward unlocked at the beginning of turn 3 just as you finish constructing your first building. This mission reward gives you minus 20% cost and minus 1 construction turn, and it is best used on expensive and long-lasting projects like settlement upgrades. The blue highlight shows when the small city is complete. This is an important turn because this is when you get that 3rd slot and also when you unlock all building chains and enable you to build the private workshop for the first time. The calculation from this point on also assumes you have an administrator in place, namely Chengpu, who will have at least 22% discount to construction cost. Depending on your luck with ancillary items, this amount could be as high as 25%. I decided to just use a simple 20% here, just so the numbers turn out nice and even. The 0 income on that turn for the tax path is because the tax building gets demolished here right away, and the minus 750 is the cost of building the state workshop building then. You can easily contrast this number with the minus 1,125 from building the state workshop on turn 2 for the other path, because all the savings we get from administrators and the tax building itself. Next, you notice that the two builds then becomes identical, with only a 1 turn delay on the tax path due to needing an extra turn to demolish and switch over to the private workshop. I stopped inputting more turns and more upgrades to buildings from this point on because the two paths from this point on will be identical except for this 1 turn delay. But despite this 1 turn delay, the tax path ends up saving you 180 gold when compared to the other state workshop path. This saving seems so small for so much trouble and so much explaining, but the real effect here is from turn 3 to turn 8, where we're at a surplus and adding money to the treasury to spend on buildings and armies for the tax route, while the state workshop route will not break even till turn 20. This is the key reason to go tax collector first and to utilize it more in the early game, because in the early game, cash is king. When you need to do so much, you need to hire new characters that become available in the recruitment pool. You need to build and upgrade buildings, recruit new retinues and armies. If you spend it all on a 12-turn investment in the state workshop building on turn 2, you are hurting yourself everywhere else. So I hope I change your mind just a little bit on trying to add the tax collector building to your future games. Also, please note, you do suffer a -4 public order from turn 3 to turn 9, or a total of 7 turns, which even with any positive countermeasures, you will only be a -28 at this point, a far cry from the -100 where rebellions that people are so afraid of start happening. Having spent so much time in this guide to make my point on tax collecting buildings, let's quickly jump to see the maximum build for a small city. For ChangSha, even as a small city with only 3 slots, you can easily generate over 2,400 income per turn without taking into consideration of any boost from administrator or assignments. The multipliers listed at the bottom includes benefits from reforms that are required to reach the upgrades necessary for the buildings listed. With a proper administrator and good assignments in place, this small city can easily make over 3,000 income per turn. That's super good for a small city that just costs 2 food. Now, upgrading ChangSha to a city is largely based on playstyle and need. It's definitely not necessary because upgrading to a city doesn't unlock any of the level 5 upgrades that are amazing improvements over their level 4 counterpart. But you can still add a new income generating building in the marketplace to your buildings. I took out the image for armor here to save space, but the upkeep is still reflected in the math. The marketplace building here can only be upgraded to level 3 because level 4 and 5 require you to be a level 7 small regional city. None of the other building here can be farther upgraded either, so we're really only adding 550 income per turn after the upkeep is taken into consideration. Once again, with proper administrator and assignments, you can probably boost this income to about 4,000 per turn. Going to the small regional city has some merits, as it unlocks all building upgrade to their maximum level of 5, and some buildings, the jump from level 4 to 5, actually represent a massive improvement and a very deserving upgrade. But it shouldn't be done so rashly for Sun Jian, as both Puyang and Jianye are better commanderies for you to upgrade and utilize those food. But if you do want to upgrade all the way to eventually to a regional city with 6 slots, ChangSha will look something like this. I took out all the specialty counties to save space, but their contributions, income, and upkeep are all still reflected in the numbers here. I recommend here to use a temple to fight back the public order issues that will grow with your population. I also want to apologize here for trash talking this building in my earlier high level concept guide. I'm wrong, and it is the most cost effective weapon against public order, and it also has a 10% discount to economic buildings, which we will be upgrading in this commandery. The Office of Seal and Archives take advantage of the insane corruption reduction adjacency bonuses ChangSha has, which we'll touch on next. It also provides a small income multiplier to all sources, which is always nice to have. In the end, ChangSha at full build would generate a little less than 4,800 gold per turn, but this number can jump closer to 6,000 with the proper administrator and assignments in place. It's pretty amazing for a starting commandery. Alright, before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at how insane adjacency is for ChangSha. Around ChangSha is 巴东、武陵、零陵、鲁陵、豫章、濮阳、陆江、江夏, and finally, Jiangling. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 adjacent commanderies. So you're easily getting 10 times the value for any adjacent commandery corruption reduction that you're building. You can easily see how you can reduce corruption by building such buildings in ChangSha, and also see how ChangSha can receive corruption reduction from up to 9 other commanderies. For my final rating, I'm giving ChangSha 5 stars. It is one of the best commerce commandery in the game with a decent industry. Food and peasantry is less effective here, but not entirely undoable. Adjacency is out of this world, and you get to have an armor, which is essentially priceless. So overall, ChangSha is one of the best commanderies in the game. Now, thank you for sticking with me and watching the whole video. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and comment below to help support this channel. If you have any requests for other commanderies or guides that you want to see next on this channel, please also feel free to comment below. Lastly, I have noticed a lot of people asking about population and public order, and I want to announce that I'm currently gathering research material in-game to make a guide over it. Hopefully it'll be ready by this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Once again, I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.